Good evening and welcome to Conversations with Entrepreneurs. How's everybody doing this week?
Doing well.
Well, we want to welcome you to the show this week. This is the show that discusses the path to entrepreneurship, and these is our panel of entrepreneurs, individual journeys along the way. So before we get started tonight, I want to acknowledge that October begins Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I am wearing purple tonight because I am a domestic violence survivor. So I just wanted to put that out there and share that acknowledgement as well. We've been doing that all month. We started with breast cancer awareness. We also had mental awareness week. And so today we're just acknowledging that this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. To our Facebook Live followers, welcome again to season 2. We took a break in September, just as a reminder to prepare for this fall season that we're in now. So this is the 3rd episode of our fall season, and we trust you're going to enjoy it, and we look forward to your feedback and participation in our topics of discussion. I am your host, Alethia Brown, joined by a panel of entrepreneurs. So let's get started tonight with Shanell Varner.
Hello. So Shanell Varner with Moonglade Travel.
Thanks, Shanell. And we have Julie.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Julie Logan, CEO of J. Logan Business Support Services.
And we have Jeffrey White.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff White with Yes We Did LLC and JeffWhiteFitnessSolutions.com.
And we have Deon Jones, our resident mental health expert and founder of A Believer Consult.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a great week. So let's get started. Okay. The last 2 weeks, we discussed our individual journeys to entrepreneurship, our revelations about how our corporate roles prepared us and contributed to our journey, what it taught us, and ultimately helped us along the way. We also discussed what was that pivotal moment or job that made us determined about starting our own business. So this week, let's continue on that journey of discussion. This week, let's talk about creating your own seat at the table and what that process means, and our assessment of what that means based on the type of business we have chosen and why. So Shanell, we'll start tonight with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alethea. So for me, okay, let's see. Creating your own seat at the table. I started Moonglade Travel back in 2016 with no prior travel industry experience other than traveling myself all across the world and booking small little getaways for family and friends. But it was a passion of mine. It was something that I love to do, and I had a skill set to do it and wanted to turn it into an opportunity. So created this business, didn't know anyone as a travel professional or a travel advisor or who had a travel company or owned a hotel, nothing at all in the industry. So it was very difficult to not even to find a seat at the table, but to find a table per se. So for me, it was just doing that research. Who is in the industry, who is doing well, who I may look up to, who can, answer questions that I may have or can point me in the right direction to get resources. So it took a lot of research. It took a lot of, I don't want to call Facebook stalking, but yeah, kind of, to see, like I said, who in the industry is doing it and doing it well that can kind of help me build my platform and my roadmap. And then when I would find those people, I would reach out, not stalkerish, but, hey, do a nice introduction of who I am and what our organization is, and just ask those questions. I don't want anything from you but information. The way that I live is anything that I know or if privy to, I want to share it with someone. So that's kind of how I approach the situation. And you had some where you didn't get responses, and you had others who were happily jump on the phone and answer any questions and share that information or resources. So that was helpful for me in the beginning. But it didn't get me to where I wanted it to be, per se. And this is my passion. This is something that I genuinely, love to do and want to thrive and be successful in the industry. So sometimes it's about creating your own table. unfortunately and fortunately. And for me, it started out with, your table could be small. Your table could be a meetup. One of our specialties is women's wellness journeys, which are intentional trips that women take to pretty much rediscover and rejuvenate themselves. So I started a small little women's wellness meetup. Started a Facebook group. We would meet once a month, have different topics of conversation. Started out with 2 people, 3 people. We got up to 8 to 12 people, and that was perfect. There was no pressure. I wasn't trying to sell anybody anything. It was just authentic conversations about women in travel. So that was the table that I created for myself, as well as creating for other folks to have a seat at and share their experiences. Then it was a newsletter. Creating, as I build my clientele and interested people that were interested in my company, emailing them. Once again, not even trying to sell, a service, but information. People want to travel. I travel. Sharing places that I've been, things that I've learned, just travel tips, just genuine, authentic information sharing was that table, so to speak, for me that I created for myself. And then as things evolved, continuing to grow my organization, continuing to grow my company through that networking. That to me is a table that you need to find your seat at. It was challenging because I'm not an extrovert. Networking to me is so hard. It's so challenging. You put me in a room with 20 and up people and I'm the girl sitting at the table twiddling my thumbs. It's just challenging to me. I have a hard time just kind of walking up to people and having a conversation. But I forced myself to do it. And through that, I would go, I'm part of different business groups for the Charlotte area or even just nationally. So they would have various meetups, and just to be able to go there and force myself out of my comfort zone to meet new people, which was great because I was able to make those connections. I was able to collaborate with various people. And that was beneficial for me. So in my mind, that was another table, so to speak, that I created for myself to kind of help me grow personally and professionally. And for the most part, it's been pretty beneficial. Also, I think, and I hear this all the time, it's not who you know, but it's who knows you. So making sure that, I'm surrounding myself with people who are going to help me elevate, like this group. I feel like this is a table that we have created, that we're impacting each other's lives and also the folks that are listening in to us every week. So that has been helpful as well. So there are various things. Like I said, it is difficult at times where you don't necessarily fit in for whatever reason. In different cities, it could be really cliquish. And it's hard to kind of break that cycle to get a seat at the table per se. But in that case, I would say start your own.
Agree. Definitely agree. Julie?
So with my business, I'm just sitting here just listing out some things. I actually have an opportunity to create a seat at the table in many perspectives, because J. Logan Business Support Service is a virtual assistant company. And so as a virtual assistant, what I'm able to do is meet with clients, understand their needs, share with them my service offerings, understand their needs, and then where I am able to secure that seat at the table is when I ask them, well, here's how I can help you and your business to grow. And from there, they're able to invite me to their meetings, to introduce me to some of their clients. And so gaining that trust with the client that I'm able to secure, so much so that they are now introducing me and trust me with their clients. So that's another seat at the table. So I think it's based off of off of my business services, I should say, gaining the client trust. And once they trust you, then they're open up the gamut of introducing you to other clients that will also create another seat at the table. And so that's really my main thing, because of virtual assistants, I offer different business service offerings. And so I'm able to create that path, if you will. From an event management perspective, obviously that is still kind of in a COVID stance or standstill, if you will, for right now. But more companies are opening up slowly as far as getting event planners to plan events. It still could be something even virtual. I plan virtual events. And so that's an opportunity to create a seat at the table by understanding what the client needs, gaining their trust to work with their clients. Overall, that's pretty much it. And I love what you said, Shanell, about this group. This group is the seat at the table. The conversation, just having a conversation with Alethia, several months back, and, she's sharing some of her ideas. And again, I think I may have offered my help to her. So here I am, I'm part of the Fabulous Five right now. So, and it does, this group is helping to build up and allow me to have another seat at the table, which is allowing us to market ourselves to the masses. So that's pretty much it for me and J. Logan Business Support Services.
Thank you, Julie. And Jeff?
Well, for me, the seat at the table has stemmed from the fact that sometimes I don't like what you're serving at your table. I don't like your table. Your table don't appeal to me. I don't have a good seat at your table. You don't even have me at the table. You have me in the little kiddie section. You know how that is when you at Thanksgiving dinner and all the adults at one table and all the kids at the other table. I don't like your table, period. So that's where my thinking of seat at the table comes from. I'm going to give an example really quick. We've heard about how recently there has been news that laws have been enacted where women can wear their hair naturally at businesses, whereas before they could not. That's ridiculous. That is absolute. You can't wear your natural hair at this business. So my thinking is, okay, if you don't want me here, if I can't be myself, why in the world am I going to keep trying to work at your job or get at your table? No. I'm going to make my own table where I can look and see someone who looks like me, who respects me for me. We're going to build our own table. We're going to build this table up. And we are going to become a table that's just as good, if not better, than your table. So that's how I look at seat at the table. We can go back to even, the 60s and how with segregation, and we wanted to desegregate, and we wanted a seat at the table. But at the end of the day, and to this day, I don't think they want us at that table. They're doing it because the laws tell us that we have to have you at the table. But deep down, they may not want us there. So why am I going to keep trying to sit at your table? Why? I'm going to create my own table. So that's my mindset. If you don't want me here, I'm not going to keep begging you. I'm not going to keep trying to get you to see my point of view. I'm going to create my own table. And that's how I look at it. Now, the problem is we don't know how to create that table. We have a lot of us who are very angry and passionate, and we want a seat at the table, but they don't want us there. So we keep bumping heads. We keep thinking, okay, let me at the table. I deserve to be here. I'm qualified to be at the table. We have to make that jump where, okay, you don't want me at this table. I'm going to create my own table, period. And then you are going to want to come to my table. So that's my mindset when I look at it, and we have to have that. I'm going to give one more example real quick. I'm going to use rap music as an example. As of right now, you can look at the music industry, and I don't know if you guys listen to rap or hip hop, but as of right now, some of the music is really bad. the lyrics, the things they talk about, they're not good. They're really not. So people can harp on that and talk about how bad it is. But then I have to remember that I grew up listening to NWA. I grew up listening to the Ghetto Boys. I grew up listening to all that. But the difference is, in addition to listen to NW and Ghetto Boys, I could listen to Kwame. I could listen to Kid and Play. I could listen to Public Enemy. I could listen to all types of Arrested Development. I had the positivity too. So my point is this: we keep demanding a seat at the table, and they're not going to give us what we want. Create your own table so you can put out what you do want. And when I use the hip hop analogy, they're not giving me what I want. So if I'm in that business, I can create my own table where I can put out the artists and the people and the things that I want that's going to appeal to me, instead of trying to get in at your table when you're not giving me what I want. So that's just how I'm looking at it from that angle. I'm looking at it from a bigger global perspective. So for me, as Jeffrey White, I understand that a lot of people want to either create their own table, or want to get away from that other person's table, but they don't know how. They don't understand the work it takes to create their own table, the hard work, the dedication, the sacrifice. So they may talk about how bad things are, but they don't realize that there is an opportunity out there to create your own table, but it's going to take a lot of work, and you got to change your mindset. Everything comes back to the mindset. So we have to teach them how to create that table. We have to let them know it's okay to create a table. We have to let them know that the key to our economic independence is creating our own table. Because if you create that own table, that's when you got the money coming in. You are not working for someone else where they pay you. You are creating something where people are going to pay you. They're going to come to you, then you can raise your prices if you want, and you can reach a whole lot more people, and you have a lot more leverage and a lot more power. So the key for us is to create our own table, which is why I started doing what I'm doing about the entrepreneurship and even the Black history. I'm going to say this real quick. I do a lot of research on Black history, and it blew my mind that these men and women back in the day were very, very smart. I mean, we all know about Garrett A. Morgan, how he created, updated the traffic signal, but a lot of people don't know he created the gas mask. He also created hair straightening cream. He also did so many other things, and he has patents on them. So a lot of these people were self-employed entrepreneurs, but for some reason we lost that, and we have to get it back. And the problem there is it's not taught. So we go from kindergarten to college, go to school, get good grades, and then you can go get a job. Okay, if you want to do that, that's fine. But what about the people who are like us, who want to go to school, get good grades? When we get out of school, we want to run our own company. It's not taught. So we have to teach that. And on the flip side, there are other people who are frustrated working for others because they don't feel comfortable at that table. Well, that's where people like us, Fabulous Five, come in, and we allow them at our table so we can pay them, we can employ them, and they can wear their hair naturally, because you know what? We like natural hair too. And so we welcome you to our table. So if you don't want to own your own table, don't worry about it. I got you. If they don't like you over there, don't worry. We got you. Come over here with us. Let's build this together. Let's overtake their table. Let's overtake their table, because that table ain't doing nothing for us. Ain't nothing on that table I don't like. I don't like nothing on that table. Let me say that. You don't put enough salt on it. You don't, it's not sweet enough. You don't have no adobe, you don't have no spices. That table ain't good for me. What's this little salad fork? I can't do nothing with this. Give me a table that I can use and appreciate. So that's how I look at it. I'm looking at it from a whole different angle. We're going to build our own table because we need to. And if you're not happy sitting over there, but you don't want to start your own business or whatever, this is where we come in, because that's what we do. And I'm going to say one more thing real quick. We don't have to do the mom and pops. We can take it to a whole nother level. People are making a whole lot of money. What they're doing is they're creating these companies, and they are getting shares. People are buying into the company, and they're giving them shares of the company. They put those companies on stock exchanges, and then other people start buying shares in the company. Next thing you know, you got a multi-million-dollar company started from nothing, started from scratch, all because people bought into the company and you give them shares. Take that company public, and you're on a whole nother level. So it all comes back to one last thing, and we talked about this briefly. It's not about black or white, it's about green. If we can create something that everyone is into, if they really enjoy what we have at our table, then they're going to come to us regardless. If you put out a good product and service, no one cares. If you put out something that they're willing to put their hard-earned money into and buy because they like it, then you got something good. I don't want someone to come at me and say, well, I'm just going to support you and I'm going to give you some money. I don't want that kind of business. I want someone who is going to come to me because I have something that they really want to use. And that is the key to creating a table, a high quality table. Don't give me your sympathy. Don't throw no dollars at me thinking, you're doing me a favor. No, you're not doing me a favor. You're doing me a favor when you come back for more and you tell your friends and family about this table that we have created.
Thank you, Jeff. Deon?
That was what everybody has said. It's just really inspiring. And I heard from Shanell, her passion turned into an opportunity, and it's not often we pay attention to our passion for any other reason other than pleasure, and pleasure, when the utility is gone, it becomes futility, and so it's amazing how these experiences, they create that passion and you find opportunity in that passion. Jeff reflected on it a little bit. He was just talking about how it always goes back to a mindset, no matter what. It goes back to a mindset, and depending on where you are and what you're thinking about and what's important, things of that nature, that creative thought will come out of your vacation where you say, hey, you know what? I could do this for not just my family, Shanell. I could do this for an entire company and plan all of their things. What Julie said, it made me think of this word niche or niche, depending on how you pronounce it. Shanell said niche, right? And so, listen, so my house is probably not as great as everybody's on here. I know how Julie's house looks, right? So a niche is a carved out space in the wall. It's this space that is. My mom used to say this all the time. There's a place for everything, and everything has its place. And so you really do carve out your niche or your niche. You find what's good with you, and it does. It goes with all those things everybody has said over and over again on our show here. Relationships, experiences, and oh, Shanell, I love this. It's not what you know, and it's not just who you know, it's who knows you. Because that is extremely important. Because I know Jay-Z, but he doesn't know me. Right. So, and it is that, but all of those coming all the way together. Jeff, you always just fill us all the way up with your expertise. Jeff, if we create the right amount of tables, never make any mistake. Tables are associated with eating and associated with resting when you're looking for a seat. Some of our issue is we've not looked to be unique. We've not looked to be our own. We tried to identify with other people, places, and things, tried to sit down in their seat, only for them to say, you're not the right color, you're not the right gender, you're not the right education level, you don't have the experience enough. And so no, your seat is not, that seat is not designed for you, it's designed for someone else. But if we create our own tables enough, tables, again, they're associated with eating. It's like creating a restaurant, and everybody gets to come in and partake of what we serve and what's on our menu and things of that nature. Seats are always identified with rest too. This is the last thing I'll say, because everybody is always amazing. And I'm like you, Shanell, I get so much from this group every week, and it's very important, especially to my business structure. Alethia will attest to that. Right. So, but the word rest, Julie, it doesn't mean just sitting down from labor. The word rest also means the remainder, And so we create that table, or we sit at that table, wherever it is, whatever the timing is. We do that so we can not just rest from labor, because entrepreneurship is never resting from labor. And if you dig in deep for yourself, you will work harder for yourself than you've ever worked. You'll work longer for yourself than you've ever worked for others. You won't look to retire. You'll learn how to save. You'll learn how to structure. You'll learn how to be more formal. Present yourself. Jeff made that statement before we came on, to dress for success, to show them where I'm going, not just where I am, and things of that nature. But rest also means remainder. You know, we want to get to this table so we can see the rest of what is out there for us. It is so much out there for everyone, and it goes around enough, and things of that nature. And that's kind of what the pull away I got from all of this conversation: the uniqueness and the niche and the niche and the niche and all of that, however you pronounce it. You know, I'm gonna be done say some wrong word, but you know, however you pronounce it, you know, it means that there is something very specific to you that will sell, and that people will buy, and that people will, like Jeff talks about, you'll have a retention. And like Shanell has this Shanell stuff always blows me away, especially in a moment like this. Julie mentioned what COVID has done, but in a moment like we're having in the earth right now, just the thought of how people travel and things of that nature. I've done lots of traveling and totally enjoy it. And it's just amazing to see how a business can still thrive, but it's because it's specific. You know, it's unique to you. And last thing I'm gonna say, Julie, you was talking about the way you was even mentioning last week how all some of your stuff came together. There is this variance that you have to become, this pliability. J. Logan Business Support Services. What you need me to do? I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. That makes you exclusive, you know, and you know, and depending on your prices and all that other stuff, that makes you attractive, you know, makes your business attractive and things of that nature. So yeah, as always, you guys are amazing. I always learn so much from you.
Thank you, Deon. How did it start? So I've always known I wanted to create my own seat at the table. I started Mahogany Productions when I was 22. And I remember my mother let me take the dining room table and put it in the living room so I can have meetings with people about, you know, the film production and everything. And, you know, it's over the years. There are things you need to learn. I wasn't ready for that table, even though I was trying to prop it up for myself. I wasn't as knowledgeable about that table, even though I knew that's where I wanted to be. Like you said, Shanell, it's like you had a passion for it. I had a passion for it. For writing, for filmmaking. I knew that was something I wanted to do. It just took a minute to get to where I needed to be for it to come to fruition. But that means you just don't give up on it. You know, nothing happens overnight or within the first year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. You know, but if it's something you know in your heart you can do, you will do. Just don't give up on it, right? You find those people, you find the resources, you educate yourself to it. You birth it in a sense, right? There is a process to go through. Julie, you and Deon know this. It's like, I really thought this project right here, we were going to jump off. I was meeting people and, you know, they were going to get me engaged with people and I was going to have this film made, and they turned me into baby in the corner at my own table. Like, how did we, how am I getting here? I don't have no say. When did this come about? You know, and it's like, okay, so if I talk out too much, I'm gonna be that angry black lady, but still, I didn't say this is what I wanted. I was looking forward to a partnership, mentor me, build me where I can take off and fly on my own. That wasn't what I was getting. So, okay, fine, that's fine. We had the little, you know, long shots and stuff from Vegas, and we were glad that went by real quick. You know, so, but everything was a learning process. You know, it helped me learn, one, more so what I knew I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, and how I was going to go about doing it. Took 2 years. And in all honesty, Julie, in the sermon, what Bishop said, in confinement, this group grew because I started working on a documentary. We were unmasked We were unmasked and we were talking about it. And I thought it was going to be, we was going to talk about COVID and people were going to call in and tell us their stories. And it evolved because each of us brought something different to it. And Lord knows I forgot all about the documentary when we was focusing on the podcast, because it was just, not that the podcast wasn't interesting, but this just cultivated into something more broad and much more needed than I think any of us ever known. I feel I'm growing better in what I'm doing. You know, so it is a learning table. It's a great table to be at. And to Jeff's point, you know, yeah, we have a table. If you want to come sit at our table for a minute, even if it's not even just to learn, to nurture, you know, to cultivate, to just learn from experiences, we can help you venture off into just our experiences. So if you just want to sit at the table, listen in for a while, this will help you. It is helping us. And we are so much more now than we thought we were going to be. It's been over 6 months. You know, who thought we were going to last this long? You know, but it's getting better every week. And the feedback we're getting, we know we're reaching people, right? And so that part of the table wasn't something I expected. The table that I have now, as far as my film is concerned, wasn't something I expected, but it's taking me where I wanted to go. And I'm loving that. And I'm growing every day, even more as a writer and as a producer, which is where I know I need to be so that I can get better and have sustainability in this very competitive industry of film productions. So no matter what your table, there is someone there that has experience. So if temporarily you're sitting at someone's table to be nurtured for growth, that's okay. Don't shy away from that. You know, that the biggest thing about being a business person is knowing when you are in over your head and finding the right resource to help dig you out. Because if not, that mud gets thick and thick and thick. It's like quicksand. You know, what Julie does is like a combination of all of our professional careers mastered. And now you have people coming to you as opposed to waiting to be assigned a particular project. You know, you dictate the projects that you take on. As a project manager, we had to take whatever they gave us, you know, and we didn't always want to do it, but we knew we had to shine in it, you know. So, but being able to dictate what you want to do, how you want to do it. I think the biggest thing too is we didn't really speak on is about what you want to do sitting at that table, but don't think that once you're sitting at that table, don't see dollar signs at the table, right? If you start focusing on dollar signs when you sit at the table, you'll get discouraged. You'll push yourself away from the table because you're looking for stuff that happens too fast. You have to nurture that table that you want to set up for yourself. And that's the growth that entrepreneurs have to experience. You know, is the process that we go through on a daily basis. One of the things I want to circle back on when we get a chance to, because I think because of this show, we would need it, Jeff and Deon. Jeff, to just, when we get a chance to, we want to be able to tell people what it's like to maintain themselves healthy when you're pursuing that table, because people get stressed, and Deon, that mental health, being able to keep that up, being able to discuss those points as well, because those are going to be two key things too to keep you going. I'm guilty of it. There's these little snack cakes that I get, and I'm working all day, and Tati asked me how many I have had. It's almost like asking me had I had a drink today, like how many have you had? Well, I didn't feel like getting anything, you know. Well, eat the Welch's Juicy Juice. They ain't sweet enough, you know. So even just with the health, we need to focus on that as entrepreneurs, and Jeff is great at that. He's, you know, he's our healthcare expert in that respect. You know, Deon is our mental health awareness expert. So those are things that we want to touch base on, because you can find yourself falling into some type of a funk, right? So we want to call it a funk when you're trying to get prepared at that table. And so we want to address that with you all as well in shows to come. So I am happy and proud to be part of the Fabulous Five, sitting at the table with the four of you all has been the highlight of my year. I have to admit, this has been a great journey. I can't wait until we take it live, like live, with the audience live. We'll see if Jeff want to talk Deon to putting his little suit on then for real, for real.
I got a suit. I got a suit too. Jeff is not the only man with a suit. I have a suit, and Shanell has got the great plans. I was gonna say too. Julie mentioned the Fab Five. Jeff, I immediately put together all of your hip hop references with Chris Webber and Jalen Rose and the Michigan State boy. Listen, we didn't create that, but we're like that. Absolutely, it's wonderful.
And of course, Shanell is going to have the time of her life coordinating the fabulous vacation where we get to go down to Tampa and we're just going to hang out with Jeff and get kicked out of the state probably in like 2-3 days. And so we're going to be looking forward to, I keep putting that plug in there. You guys got to back me up on the plug. Got to get Shanell on a job with Jeff.
That's right. Let's get it. So Jeff, make room because we're coming through.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I'm always ready.
Take you on the road.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to just being able to go to a beach again. That's going to be too cool. So parting words tonight. Let's start. Deon, let you start with last words for tonight.
Well, I want to say, echo everybody else. So glad to be a part of this group. And the road to entrepreneurship, and it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I'm sure someone has said that. It is a journey, and you try to enjoy the journey while you're trying to do what you're trying to do and establish a legacy and things of that nature. There is to try to enjoy the journey and learn the lessons and take the experiences that you even hear us say, and there are other entrepreneurs, but take those experiences and make those your business school. Use those failures, which they just lead you to the success. Those opportunities that were not maximized or could have been better or could have been. Use some of these stories that we have and strengthen your own endeavors and ambitions. And thank you again for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Deon. Jeff?
Yeah, I just want to say I thoroughly enjoy this group and just talking to everybody. I learn a lot, and you guys just inspire me and make me laugh sometimes. But what I want to say real quick is, Alethia, you touched on it, but I want to hammer this point home. There's no point in being successful, achieving your goals if you're too sick to enjoy it. So, or if you can't work your hardest and achieve at your maximum efficiency if you're too sick to do so. So my first business was Jeff White Fitness Solutions. And when people think of fitness, they think of exercise. But true fitness is mental fitness, spiritual fitness, and financial fitness. And you have to work on all of them at the same time. People think of them as separate, but it's like pieces of a puzzle. And so whatever you're doing right now, keep your fitness and your health, whether it's mental, physical, spiritual, or financial, in your mind. Because again, what's the point of working so hard and you finally get to the finish line and you keel over because you're too sick to finally enjoy what you work so hard for? So I just want to stress that and just get people to just think about that in their minds. But again, don't be afraid to get your own table. Don't keep trying to get at someone else's table if they don't want you there. And once you can get that into your mind, there's nothing you can't accomplish. No one can hold you back but yourself. And once you finally understand that and really believe that, the sky's the limit. So you got to get out your comfort zone and realize that, hey, I can do this. And there are people out there who feel the same way I do and are willing to help. Now, everyone is willing to help you, unfortunately. Not everyone's willing to help you, but you have to find the people who are. And we got the Fabulous Five here, and we will definitely look out for each other because that's exactly what we do here. And we all know egos. We all are one, and we're all happy to help each other, and because we all have the same goal. And so once you have that mindset, there's nothing you can't do, but you got to find the right people who want to help you too.
True. Amen on that one, Jeff. Facts. Shanell?
So a couple of things. My mind has just been rolling this entire show because it's just always so awesome. I'm glad you talked about fitness, physical, both physically and mental. But another part of that is just the wellness. You know, as entrepreneurs, we're going, but you have to stop for a moment. You know, self-care is critical, and you know, I often tell my clients, travel can be part of your self-care. Really taking care of, like you said, Jeff, mind, body, and spirit, to be able to disconnect, to get away, and really just kind of pour into yourself so you can continue to pour into your business and your family and everybody else around you. So that's one thing. Another thing, I know we talked a lot about finding a seat at the table or even creating your own table. But think about it, a table, you can bring something to it. You can also take something away from it. So think about that at the tables that you may be trying to get a seat at. Every table is not a good table to be at. But if you are going to be at a table, think about what you can give to that table. You don't know who your neighbor is, you know, and what they may need that you might have. And then also what you can get from it. Like speed dating. You go to a table, you get what you need, and you on to the next table. So that's just a couple of thoughts about that. But to wrap it up, what I want to leave you all with is you are worthy. You know, you deserve all the greatness that the universe has in store for you. So continue to work hard and reap those rewards, AKA blessings.
Agreed. Julie?
Shanell kind of touched on it a little bit, and I've written down that just keep in mind some tables that you sit at aren't good tables, and you don't need to sit at those tables. However, some tables are good tables and can be stepping stones for you to build your own table. Thirdly, keep in mind that having a seat at the table doesn't necessarily mean that you have a voice. Make sure you have a voice and a seat at the table. And as Jeff and Deon has said, most of all, stay healthy, empowered, and resilient.
I agree. Thank you, guys. So I agree with what Shanell said. It's like some seat at the tables are lessons, right? Don't get too comfortable at that lesson table that you bypass the blessing. So, grow from what you can and then, share that. Sometimes, you're put in a space for a particular reason. And you may be in that space right now just for that knowledge, for that growth. When those doors open, you're going to know. You're going to know when it's time to pivot. And some tables, just because you left them doesn't mean you're not still part of them. And that's another way to look at it as well. So as everyone has said tonight, and it resonates throughout this group, we're a table and we're happy to have you sit through it with us on a weekly basis. Feel free to, comment and anything, the questions that you have for Jeff or for Deon or for Julie or for Shanell. Don't hesitate to put the comments in on Facebook Live, and we'll definitely respond back to you. We are happy to share that level of knowledge that we know. And if we don't know, I can promise you this group right here will find a way to give you the direction you need to go in to gain the knowledge that you have. That is what we have here, and that's what we share with you every week. And so with that,
if I can real quick before you close, when you have a seat or when you have a table has place settings. Each place setting serves its own purpose. This table here has different place settings, and we serve our own purpose. So when you find a table that have like-minded people so that you can have a full setting and you can feed the masses. And I'm out.
And so that's what I think we all out tonight.
Music.
Another great show, and we love it, and we hope that you are finding it inspiring and motivating. And look for your table, and we're here if you've got any questions. Have a great evening, everyone.